Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over the 5 things that I don't exactly like about the all-new Nissan Z. With that being said, let's just get right into the video. So the first thing pertains to the sound. Now I know that I might make some people over at Nissan a little bit upset, but just being honest here, I'm going to start up the Z. Push the clutch in. So, from an interior perspective, and let me close the door. It doesn't sound too bad, but from an exterior perspective, it's not the greatest sounds, and the new Toyota BMW Supra definitely has a better sounding exhaust. So I think that one of the first modifications for a lot of people with the new Z is going to be an aftermarket exhaust, because in this stock format with the exhaust, and I'll actually just shut it off. Yeah, in stock format with this exhaust, it's not the greatest sounding. Now there was a Nismo exhaust debuted a little bit ago at a Z event, and that sounded a lot better than this. So I mean, Nissan kind of already knows, but yeah, in stock format it doesn't sound horrible, but like, especially when you compare it to the Supra, it doesn't sound as cool as the Supra because you got like the popples and bangs and everything. But you know, for what this is, it's still a solid sound. Now the number 2 thing pertains to the weight. Now this is an interesting point for me to make because I usually don't talk about this with cars, but yeah, we got to talk about the weight here. So I showed this in my review, but gross vehicle weight rating is 4211, and then you guys can see payload's 450, so that means this weighs over 3,700 pounds, which is a little bit heavier than the Supra. The Supra's like 3,400 pounds, roughly, in terms of when you look at the payload sticker versus the gross vehicle weight rating, and then you do the subtraction, all that kind of stuff. Pretty simple math. But the point that I'm trying to make is, power to weight with this car is great, right? Especially compared to the last version of the Z. This has a better power to weight ratio, but it still is heavier than the last version of the Z, and it's heavier than the Supra. So there's a little bit of a downside, but I can at least tell you that on road, in real life, this doesn't feel slower than the Supra. And I have a Supra comparison that'll already be out before this video comes out. And so this feels just as quick in real life circumstances as the Supra. It's just that when they do like the drag races and everything, this won't exactly win any drag races against the Supra. So in like ideal conditions, the Supra is going to win when you're on a drag strip and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, when you're just driving around, this feels like more than enough power. But and again, it doesn't feel heavy going around corners and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that is definitely something that people have been talking about. So I guess I had to mention in this video, even though I don't really personally think it's an issue, you know, after driving this car. Now, number 3 is the outdated feel with certain elements. So this does not apply to anything on the outside because the outside is perfect. That's all I got to say. Perfection. So no complaints there. But popping inside here, you guys can see some of the window controls. A lot of switchgear from less expensive Nissan models, right? And I could definitely see that being a complaint for some people. And a lot of stuff taken out of the 370, frankly, right? Now this is all new, right? And the steering wheel looks quite a bit different. But you guys can see there's quite a bit of switchgear. It's just out of a regular Nissan. I don't really care, but again, I could see some people caring about this, that they want more of these, like, you know, special bespoke elements to the new, you know, 400Z compared to the 370Z. So yeah, I mean, again, it doesn't bother me, but I could see if someone already owns 370Z, they might not want to pony up to this, even though it has a much better powertrain, in my personal opinion, because they don't necessarily feel like they're getting that much of a different car from like an interior perspective, right? Because this is where you're going to spend your time as a driver. But again, for me, I don't care. But yeah, I could see how some people could feel that way, that, you know, there definitely is a lot of interior carryover with the new 400Z. So the number 4 thing has to pertain to the performance package. So this particular Z has the performance package, which I'll show you guys that on the window sticker thing that I have right now. Basically gives you upgraded brakes, you have a cool spoiler there in the back. This one has the 2-tone paint, which is an option you can get with the new Z, which is pretty cool. But this isn't part of the performance package, but I thought I'd mention it. And let's go to the window sticker so we can kind of discuss this a little bit more in depth. So you guys can see here, again, performance edition with this. So basically makes the car fully loaded. So you can see all the stuff that comes with it. So you got the alloy wheels, right? You get the spoilers, and you get the side skirts and the front splitter and all that kind of stuff. Basically makes this car fully loaded from an interior perspective, and then you get the performance goodies on the outside. And I don't think there's a price on that, but it basically just shows us the base price, not including the performance pack. But the regular Z is going to be quite a bit less expensive than this, and this is where I see kind of a little bit of an issue for some people, because basically, if you don't care about the interior add-ons, you could get wheels and brakes like this for a lot less money than what the performance pack is going to cost over a regular Z. And so I could see some people not seeing this as like a great value, and a lot of people might want to get the base Z over this Z. So yeah, I could see the performance package as being a slight downside for some people, because you can get a base version with the same exact powertrain. You're not getting, like, you are getting better braking performance and the wheels are better, but you're not getting any extra like horsepower. So it is a performance package, but it's also not at the same time. It's confusing. Now the fifth and final thing has to pertain to the 9-speed automatic transmission. So obviously my Tester has the 6-speed manual, and this is the only transmission that I would get with the new Z. Now the 9-speed automatic is very smooth and it's pretty quick to shift, but it's not as quick as the Supra. I drove this car back to back with a Supra, and in that video I said that I prefer the Z to the Supra. Manual to an automatic Supra, which obviously is oranges to apples. But even if it was the manual Supra, which obviously I haven't had a chance to drive yet, I still think I'd pick the Z, because I prefer the styling on this car and I prefer the driving dynamics, because this car is just a lot more controllable compared to the Supra. But this is a performance car, and the 9-speed automatic is good, but it's not great. And so again, get the manual with this car, because the 9-speed automatic just, it leaves a little bit to be desired from a shift speed perspective. And so you don't have to worry about that if you got one of these. So I'm glad that Nissan offered it, and I think that most Zs sold are going to be manuals, frankly. But I thought I'd mention that in this video, is that their automatic transmission isn't exactly the most performance oriented, but it's not horrible. It's just, yeah. So that's going to sum things up for a video on the 5 things that I don't exactly like about the all-new Nissan Z. With that being said, I will see all of you in that next video.